It was a fairly lonely existence there in space. The only company Justin had were the planets. But they were so far away, they had to shout for them to hear him, and it would take days for him to hear a reply. On Monday morning, Justin asked Jupiter the time, and on Wednesday night, he heard Jupiter say it was 9:30 in the morning. There had to be a better way of finding out what the time was, thought Justin. If only he could see what the time was on Big Ben. But he could. It was 12:37. To his astonishment, Justin found that he could zoom in on anything at any distance around the world. He zoomed in on a high-tech wristwatch in China and found out it was 9:37. He wondered which time was right. Then he wondered if he could see more than one thing at a time. His pupils learned to cope with the differences in light and dark as he gazed at Australia and Britain all at once. He saw people sunbathing in the Seychelles and people shivering in Moscow. Some of them were so cold they had to do a Russian dance to keep warm. He watched a woman working at a fast food restaurant, another at the Riviera lazing by her swimming pool. He witnessed sunset in Somerset and dawn in Damascus. 12 hours later, the woman in the fast food restaurant was still working, and the woman lazing by the swimming pool was still lazing by the swimming pool. Focusing on Memphis and an Ethiopian village, Justin watched a big fat American with shades and a baseball cap stuffing his face with a mountain of food, while an emaciated brown hand fumbled for a grain of rice from an empty bowl. The Ethiopian boy collapsed while the American held his chest. His face fell into his plate. "Feeling fine," shouted Mars 3 days after Justin had asked him how he was. Despite Mars's friendliness, Justin became depressed. The other stars took pity on him and spelled out in formation, "Hey down there, can any of you help this boy up here?" The ex-son had no interest in eccentric technology, so he had abandoned the air balloon in someone's back garden and then met an old lady with a bright ginger beard and then made the most of the rest of his life. That someone's back garden happened to be the one where Laura Wright played. She found the vehicle fascinating. One night, she happened to notice the distress signal in space, so she decided to go up and visit Justin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! "And that's it," explained Justin. "I just need a good week's holiday. All you have to do is put on this hat and you can do the sun's duties." "Okay," said Laura, "if it's only for a week." She pulled out the fireproof fishing rod. "So, what you going to do with your week off?" "Probably visit my mum for dinner," said Justin. "Should be fish fingers and beans today." "I don't blame you for wanting to visit your mummy. You must miss her. I never seen my mummy. Daddy said that when I was born, Mummy went away. He didn't say where." She gazed at the stars. "Sometimes I hope that if I get a strong enough telescope that I'd be able to see her up here in space, waving to me." As Laura spoke, Peter began to feel something that he had never felt before. "So, let me get this straight. I have to take your hat off with this rod and then put it on my head?" Yeah, that's right," said Justin. No, that's not right at all." "Do I put the hat on somewhere else?" I can't make you do it," cried Justin. "I lied when I said it was only going to be for a week. I was never going to come back." "But why would you do that?" said Laura. "Because I can't stand my job no longer. I can see all the awful things happening in the world and I don't want to anymore." Laura sat back in the air balloon and had a long think. "Don't worry. My daddy is very clever. He's a doctor. I'm sure he can think of something." The doctor stood next to Laura in the air balloon and listened to Justin's problems. You see, I need someone to replace me, but no one would want to do this job, and I can't trick anyone into doing it. Ah, the old conscience thing. I see. Quite classic, really, said the doctor, taking notes. I think I have the solution. You do? Said Justin. You are unhappy, aren't you? Yes, I am. You would like the unhappiness to stop, wouldn't you? Of course he would, Daddy, said Laura. Would it work? Said Justin. I promise, said the doctor. The doctor whistled to himself as he took his tools out of the rocket. He placed the hat on Laura's head. There was a reason why he had chosen this time to do the operation. It was Laura's bedtime, and she had fallen asleep. She turned into the sun as Justin reverted into human. Whistling still, the doctor put Justin under general anaesthetic and began his surgical procedure. Laura woke up back in her garden and could see that Justin no longer looked miserable. But what she couldn't see was the thin scar on Justin's forehead. Justin had woken up with no urge but to stare vacantly into space. The operation had been successful. Laura had always been meaning to visit Justin, but according to her father, there was always some mysterious technical problem with the air balloon, which meant she could not go. He said that money was a bit too tight at the moment to get it repaired, despite him being a renowned surgeon. After several months had passed, Laura managed to persuade her best friend's uncle to check the vehicle for free. He gave it the thumbs up. She was about to begin the countdown when her father appeared. "What are you doing?" he said. "That air balloon's not safe." "Yes, it is, Daddy," said Laura. "Emily's uncle checked it." "Did he?" "So if you don't mind, I'm going to visit Justin." "Why?" "Why do you want to see him?" "To find out how he is." "You can see him from down here. He looks happy enough." "I suppose so, Daddy, but I'd like to talk to him." "Talk to him?" "But he can't talk to you. I mean, I forbid you to talk to him ever again." "Why?" said Laura. "Why? Why? Because he might trick you into becoming the sun." "He wouldn't do that," said Laura. "He almost did before," said her father. "There's no reason I can think of why he wouldn't try again." "But Daddy," said Laura, "if I was tricked into becoming the sun, you would come up and put on the hat and become the sun for me, wouldn't you?" The doctor stared at his daughter. She was so much like a mother. "Of course I would, my dear. No, you must excuse me. There's a phone call I need to make." The doctor rushed into the house. Something weird was happening to his eyes. The last time they had become wet like this was when his wife had died. There was no way he was going to let his daughter see him like this. For once, Laura decided that she would disobey her father and ventured into space. She was glad to see Justin there, shining as before. But not for long. She said, "Hi, how you doing?" He stared blankly and did not reply. "Did you feel better after the operation? I didn't get a chance to speak to you." He still said nothing. "Hello," said Laura more urgently. "Earth calling Justin. Are you listening to me? You're being ever so rude. Has the cat caught your tongue?" Still, she drew no response. Frantically, she waved her hand in front of Justin's eyes. "Come on, talk to me. What's wrong with you?" It was then that she spotted the lobotomy scars on Justin's forehead, and then she understood.